form, but I want to share my screen. And again, I will come and hang out with you in a bit. Let's see, where is this? Make it bigger. All right, look at that. Again, I am going to be reading from the law, the supreme law. You're familiar with it. We all are. And I thought it would just be a nice reminder for me, and I can share reading it as a review. And you can fill in anything in terms of your understanding. Share, please, and welcome new people as you see them. And I know that we're a friendly group. I don't have to even say that. Thank you for joining on Facebook and on Twitch. Just want to say that. And I want to also say one more thing. If I don't see you in the, chatmosphere, and you might think, if anybody thinks I'm ignoring them, I truly am not. If it's something you really want to say, just try to maybe put it in twice, and I'll see it the second time. Just know that it's not intentional. And also, another thing about comments that I've noticed on YouTube, when people make comments, some of them I will see that it's a notification, but when I go to look at the comment, it's not visible to me. So I don't understand what that is. So if I've missed your comments, even in videos, it's probably because of a glitch, or it could just be me being a glitch. But I wanted just to explain that it's really funny. I can't always see comments. They're like hidden. So it must be something they do with certain words or something. I'm not sure. If anybody knows, just help me understand that. But getting into what I want to read. So this is the Decalogue. Decalogue. So that word is different. I had to look into what that meant. So a decalogue, in terms of definition, is a name given. It's Greek, actually, and it stands for the 10 words. Okay, so the 10 words, as the original is more literally rendered in Exodus 20, 3 through 17. These commandments were at first written on 2 stone slabs, which were broken by Moses throwing them down. So that's the Decalogue that I'm referring to. All right, let's see. Anybody fill in some of my understanding? Thank you, Karen. Yay. Oh, Dana's a Twitch user. Thank you, Dana. It's nice to see you from Twitch. And also the guru, my bro in Philly. That's another Twitch user. So yeah, just want to say thank you. I want to do more on Twitch, and I'll tell you about it. I don't want to take time doing that right now, but I'm going to explain it after. Okay, so I'll go ahead and begin the reading of the Decalogue, the 10 words. Okay. So this is from Exodus, the 20th chapter. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, nor shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So that is the expanded version of it. So it goes from one is the first of the commandments. I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods before me. You can go down and let me know how we're doing as a nation, since I'm looking at America right now. How do we could get into the debate about this country being a melting pot, which it is, but the founding documents are very specific to a faith. And these are the foundations of this nation. No one can change that fact. And this is something that we are now coming to an understanding that truth is truth. Outside of it is false. So this nation has founding documents that tie right into the Bible. And you can, of course, we can do a scorecard and see how we're doing as a nation. In terms of the first commandment, you should have no other gods before the God who is the creator identified in the Bible. You could call it Christian, the way, whatever you want to call it. Second commandment is, I am the Lord your God, and you should not make for yourselves any idols, nor any images that are created in the heavens or the earth beneath. The word jealous is something that I remember Oprah Winfrey had a lot of offense about God being called a jealous God. The thing about words, we can take a lot of the books that were written, like the Webster's Dictionary from, the early, as early as you can get. And when you look at some of the words, it's not in the way that would make you offensive, have this offense. A jealous God is basically like it's like anybody, you would have a feeling of being betrayed or cheated on, in a sense. Not, doesn't have to be romantic, but we know when we have feelings of jealousy, and it's not always justified. But what I'm saying, if your creator, you identify that you have a creator, you didn't create yourself. So you look around the world and you see that it has intelligence, design, evidence of a very intelligent creator. Anybody who can't see that, again, no debating anymore. We're past the point of debating reality and truth. People who don't are oblivious and they are triggered by the truth. It's really not too much that I don't know what to do with people like that. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen to them. I know that things are getting pretty interesting and it's time to make some decisions. So going back to the second commandment, America has a show called American Idol. I don't think anything more needs to be said there. Okay, moving on to the third commandment. I am the Lord your God. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. So the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Okay, that is something that, it could be up for debate in terms of taking the Lord's name in vain. What do you all think taking the Lord's name in vain means? Can anybody let me know what you think or understand of taking the Lord's name in vain? Let's kind of break that down. And as you can see, I have pictures of, I think this is the Alaska state capital. And this is the 10 Commandments. And as you can remember throughout the years, that's been a big source of contention with state houses around our nation. You have a group of people that tend to be democratic, very liberal. They are socialists. They're avowed Marxist, and they have a problem with having the 10 Commandments outside of a courthouse, outside of the state capitals, and outside of schools. We've seen the thing happen that, they've taken these things down. And of all the things to offend somebody, I haven't seen anything offensive in these 10 laws, this supreme law for people who acknowledge a creator, who are not rebellious, who are not inspired by the satanic Luciferian doctrine of do what thou will. And that is where we are as a nation in terms of what I have observed. So people who would just go crazy with having the 10 Commandments outside of a courthouse, that to me, I never understood. Alan, you're saying using the Lord's name in a derogatory way? Okay, yeah, there you are. So you can see how we line up with that commandment. Okay, so moving on to the fourth commandment is to remember the Sabbath day. How do you feel we do as a civilization, a society, when it comes to proper rest and a balance of work and rest? The Sabbath day is observed by certain faiths as Friday night, beginning Friday night and through Saturday. And the church, the Christian church, pretty much made Sabbath on Sunday. Am I correct with that? What do you all feel is proper in terms of Sabbath? Do you observe a Sabbath? Those who are offended have been impressed upon by the elite. Yeah, exactly. Oh boy, look who entered the Shutmosphere. Beautiful Rosie Pie. Hey there. I'm so glad to see you whenever you swing by. Let's see. What is Tina saying? Hey, Tina. There is debate on which day, but I think we aren't observing it correctly for the most part. Okay. And what do you think, Mickey? I don't think anyone is able to do the Sabbath day with them having to work all the time. Exactly. I remember when I had little jobs, through college, and the jobs some of them would be flexible for your religious observances. And then I noticed the workplace just becoming more, just so secular, that if you wanted to observe Sabbath, people would probably accuse you of just wanting to get over. So it's not something that is easy to do, like you said, because of the way we have this work kind of, it's a gerbil on a wheel type of work culture here, and people work themselves literally to death in this nation. I worked with a nurse who worked night shift, which is not healthy to do for many years, but she worked herself right in. She just dropped one day, and that was it. And a lot of nurses, they go through things like that. I've dropped at work as a nurse. So it's one of those things that hustle culture that a lot of the millennials were involved with, where they listen to these gurus that tell you, like, no sleep, like team no sleep. And that is very unhealthy as a culture, because that's a culture and we buy into it. And then people who like to sleep will feel guilty. And sleep is something that, again, do we need to debate the need for sleep? I mean, we can debate where you go when you are asleep, but your body needs adequate rest. Now, you can go through periods where you might not need as much sleep. As you get older, it happens, but you kind of ebb and flow, especially since 2020. I've noticed my sleep pattern has changed a lot. And I worked night shift and stuff, so I was all off. You've heard of circadian rhythms. And these things are important because your health and wellness depends on it. And that's not debatable. A lot of things that are preventable in terms of illness are due to people who have no balance. They do not rest. So Sabbath turns out to be something for our wellness, it looks like. Hey, Clementine, hi. Do you have any advice for insomniacs? Okay, I'll tell you this, Clementine, and welcome. I've had insomnia off and on. I had a bad bout with insomnia a few years ago, and it triggered some depression. And I'll tell you this, I needed to stop doing something in my life. It was something that, we're talking and being real. It was something that I shouldn't have been doing. And I was making excuses. So I started experiencing insomnia. Now, for me personally, I believe that my insomnia was due to the fact that I knew that I shouldn't have been doing things in my life at that time. And I needed to get straight. I needed to get straight with the Father, my Father. I had to, deal with some things. And I noticed for me, when I did that, my sleep was back. It was peaceful. It was easy to go to sleep. So I want to say that because we're quick to offer something that we could drink or put in our mouth, right? Or listen to. We're always looking for external things. But I want to just submit that we don't give that a thought, that maybe there's something in your life that in your spirit you shouldn't be involved in. I'll say, excuse me, I have a hair in my mouth. But you see what I'm saying? I think we should have a balance of these kind of things, because some of the things are also spiritual, aren't they? Because some people have guilt that they carry with them. They may have done something to a person and they haven't resolved it. So I'm just saying that there are some issues like that. Not to say that's your issue, but I wanted to put it on the table. Hey, Christine. Yep. If my conscience is not clear, I can't sleep. So you know what I mean. I think we've all, yeah, there you are, golden amethyst. Yes, restless mind is worse than anything else. Yes, a clear mind. And if you feel that you've done right by people, do no harm. And we have amends to make with so many people, like since 2020. I know that I'm holding some grudges against people. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I am, and I don't want to. I really don't want to. But I'm a work in progress, and I do ask the Father to help me with that. I want to be at harmony and in harmony with all people. I don't like disagreement. I like peace and harmony. I go to sleep listening to scripture with the ocean sounds, and it really gives me good sleep. I'm guilty of staying up late. Yeah, that sounds nice. That's a great suggestion, because the ocean sounds are just amazing. I need something that that's like white noise, they call it. And I like to have a fan going. It's something about a fan for me. Listening to it, it drowns out any noise around. So that's what helps also. Hey, Alan, you said yes, and stop drinking caffeine before bed. Yeah, thanks for that reminder. And caffeine is in your chocolate. So if you're eating chocolate ice cream and things like that, maybe not the best idea. So yeah, it's things like that. Molly, thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you. I appreciate that. So sweet. So where did I leave off? Okay, I was at the Sabbath. Okay, so making the Sabbath holy. I also see that in reference to the land, because we don't let the land rest, and the land has to rest. And when we read biblical accounts of agriculture, we see that they rotated the crops. They didn't overwork the soil. And I shared with you all the documentary Back to Eden with the man that lives out in upstate California, where he prayed. This man, he moved away from Los Angeles. He didn't want the city life for his children. You all know his story, some of you. And he went up to that beautiful area of California is just beautiful, period. It's just not a lot that you could say bad about the beauty of California. So he went up to a more green, lusher part up north. Paul, thank you, Dana. See, Dana is so, oh my God, I appreciate you so much, sis. Paul Gauchi. So Paul, and really look him up. If you want to watch a really good documentary, you'll learn a lot. And for me, his testimony, it was so powerful because he said that he prayed, he asked God to give him wisdom in growing food. And God answered him because of his faith and, just to consult him in those affairs. So God showed him that we're doing it wrong in terms of tearing the land and tilling it and turning the soil. That's not needed if you do something called permaculture. So I use permaculture, and that's something you will learn from Paul, is you do layers of rich soil, and you do wood chips you could get from a tree place. That's they'll deliver wood tree whatever chips to you. And if you continue to layer and allow the rich environment, the bio whatever, the bio help me with the word, you know what I'm saying, all of that good nurturing, it's that dark and rich stuff that's organic. And you will not have to work hard if you do things that are in rhythm with the Creator, and he will show us if we seek his wisdom. And that's what Paul did. And Paul realized he didn't have, he put the seeds down, but he didn't have to water things as much. The rain took care of it, and he prayed for rain. I mean, just he began to have such a natural rhythm and in tune with the Creator that he just grows the most amazing organic food. He doesn't have to do all of the work that is involved with the way that we farm. So if you have a heart to grow your own food, just know that this is the best way. And I know we have a sister that talks about that. Shayna talks about permaculture a lot. Is Shayna in the chatmosphere? Because Shayna she is a boss when it comes to the permaculture. There you are. If anybody, thank you, Dana, for sharing. If anybody wants to use that link information right there to the documentary, there you are. I'll give you a minute to write it down or screenshot it. I appreciate that, Dana. So I left off at the Sabbath. Okay, now the 5th commandment. I am the Lord your God. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land which the Lord your God gives you. So things are attached to honor. Honoring your mother and your father, and your days being long on the land. So there are blessings that are attached to these things when it comes to land and the land trust, the deeds and the wills, and being in the will of the Creator, and knowing who you are, knowing your identity, and knowing the things that are in the will for you. All right. Hey, Sharon. Hello. Thanks for joining. Hey, Sean, you said 11th commandment, don't elect Democrats. That's funny. Okay, so then the 6th is, I am the Lord your God. You shall not murder. Okay? There you are. Again, there is no debating abortion at this point. No more debating. We are debated out. We're at this point right now. And I want people to really listen up, especially if you're new to me. You don't know my vibe. If you're pro-choice and you're open to listening to other sides, I would hope that we could get to that point. I've heard your side. Your side is the dominant voice. Don't be dishonest about that. If you are on the pro-choice side, you have the dominant voice in our culture. I don't have the dominant voice in our culture. I am censored. I am, whatever, attacked. I used to be attacked. I don't have the attacks anymore because of where we are on the timeline. So if you are maybe on the fence about this abortion issue, I come from it this way. I give a testimony. I've given a testimony, and one day maybe I'll just do a straight Roe v. Wade abortion, healing after abortion type of a video. It's probably due that I do them occasionally because I've been on this road for a few years, and I've had channels taken down. So some of my content that deals with abortion has been taken down. So I may need to just do a fresh update. Now, I come from the standpoint of I love women. I love children. And sometimes pro-life people are accused of not loving women and not caring about them and not caring about children after they're born. And that's not true. It's not true for us as a group. As individuals, I would say, as a group, you may be able to make that point. And I'm not going to just say, oh, we've been doing so good with embracing women that are in bad positions, poverty, and things like that. And I would say that we need to heal. We need to have dialogue, though. So when I say that I love women, I'm telling you that women are victimized in the abortion industry. Women are so victimized. They are not given full information. And that's why I'm saying I love women, because I would rather a woman know a lot more than what they are told about abortion. And that's the place I am right now. I am advocating for women because they're not given proper counseling before the procedure. They're not given aftercare whatsoever. And if you love women, or you have ever been in the position to have an abortion, a lot of times it's a very lonely time in your life. You may be abandoned by people. You may have been pressured. And it is a very vulnerable time in your life. So a lot of people have made decisions based on fear of something, or some fear of loss. They can't afford. It's all scarcity. It's the scarcity mindset and the fear. So if you make a decision in fear and lack and scarcity, you just logically, do you think you're going to make a good choice, a good decision? Now, this is a big decision to make. It's not a little decision. And that's another thing I don't think is fair, that women are kind of, gaslit into thinking that this is just like getting a tooth pulled, no big deal. And that's not fair, because it is a big deal and there's a psychological component to this. So if you are a pro-choice person who feels that you love women and you care about women and their health care, then I would submit to you and challenge you to look into caring for women pre-abortion. So that's the counseling end of it, where they're talked to and they're told like a balance of information about real issues when it comes to abortion. They can, they can see the development of what you all like to say fetuses, which means little human. I believe women should be able to know if that is a heartbeat. They should be able to hear it. Yes, that is part of fully disclosing. So you can make informed decisions. So a woman needs proper counseling before an abortion, after an abortion. So if you can show that women are receiving that, then I will believe that you care about women too. But I'm saying that women are not cared for. They are just brushed into this situation. Now they've taken part in this commandment, breaking this commandment. This is not negotiable. It says the sixth commandment is, you shall not murder. There's no wiggle room there. So you have to either submit to law and order, the order that the Creator placed. You could debate with the Creator and take it up with the Creator, but there is a supreme law here. So if it says do not murder, I don't know how you can find an amendment to that. See, these are not amendable. You don't see amendments here. Have you noticed that, anybody? No amendments. It just says you should not murder. Okay, so the seventh commandment is, and I know somebody who's very anti-religion will go back and talk about all the wars that happened, but that is not the issue. We are talking about developing a society and a civilization, and this is our founding documents, America's inception. We need to know what the original constitutional documents said, but they tie right into these 10 laws here, or the law. So we have the seventh is, you shall not commit adultery. Now, people, you can decide if adultery, is fun. We see people trying it out. They have interesting open marriage type of things, and they try all kinds of swinger type of things. And people have indulged in a lot of things, right? But how does that work out? Truly, does that work out well? Is that a recipe for a healthy marriage or relationship? So we have to be honest about everything right now. This table in the wilderness that I have been talking about, everything's on the table. I want everybody to come. Everyone's invited. It doesn't matter what side you're on. We have to stop with the sides. We have to sit down and talk sometimes to one another. If you see somebody in public, it's easier when you live in a city like New York. You may come in contact with people more, that you could have conversations, or the barber shops and beauty shops and things like that. But we have come through a time right now, because it's the post. This stuff is not going to continue, okay? And you could call me crazy, whatever. This is something I am very, very serious about, that I believe that all of it is coming to a conclusion. All of this stuff, this rebellion against rational truth, logic, it's coming to an end. That's why it's so super absurd right now. So open marriages have been tried by a few people in popular culture. Let's see who's tried the open marriage. Will and Jada. Okay, so a Philly John. That's interesting. Philadelphia comes up a lot. Okay, so fellow Philadelphian, Will Smith. Allegedly, he and Jada from Baltimore, which is like a sister city to Philly, not that it matters, but I'm just saying. So they have had rumors floating around about an open marriage, right? For how many years before it finally hit the mainstream and they confirmed things. They went to the red table and it was the most cringy thing to watch a couple just talk about. She's having an affair with her son's friend, who was a very broken young man. He had a lot of mental issues, and this woman, who I don't know how many years older, but a lot of years older than him, she begins to become his confidant, his woman. And it didn't work out well. He got his heart broken by Will Smith's wife. Doesn't that sound pretty crazy? So in popular culture, they parade these concepts around and they want us to buy into it and believe that it will have a good outcome. Open marriages are not a good idea, and you will be hard pressed to prove it. Okay? I have never seen one work out. Okay? Yep. So it's just at this point, you could keep doing it and practicing chaos and bringing spirits and attachments and what did Jada call it? Entanglements. If you want entanglements onto your spirit and soul, then you can play around, Like Salty says, F around and find out, because you're playing with danger. It's not good, not for your wellness or anything. So we have, moving on to 8th commandment is you shouldn't steal. I don't think there's anything we could debate there. You shouldn't steal. Look at that. Go figure. This is the stuff that offends the ultra liberals. They don't like these laws. This offends lawless people. They don't like to hear it. It might burn their ears when they hear this kind of stuff. They'll start doing what Salty because they're offended and triggered and they want to attack. But it's like, hey, I didn't write this stuff. I'm not smart enough to write these things. I didn't come up with it. So you can't be mad at anybody who is sharing that the Creator has some laws that are supreme. Entanglements, yes, quantum entanglements, exactly. Sean said Jada is a manipulative Jezebel bee. She really is. I mean, I was really disappointed to know just how cold and callous she comes across. I used to like her. She was this sassy, on those shows back in the 90s and stuff. I liked her little style, but yeah. I mean, nobody's perfect and all that, but it's a cold game out there. It's a real cold game, and she just has a coldness to her. So you shall not steal. We see that is something that happens so much in the banking system. So our banking system is based on theft. Our currency is based on debt theft. Our taxes are theft and usury. Our churches are 5013Cs. Yeah. And what else? Just taxes all over the place. California, the way the California Franchise Tax Board operates, unbelievable. I I had a license that I wasn't even using. It wasn't an active license in California. And California assessed me thousands of dollars in taxes. I got some notification. I hadn't even lived in California for years, okay? Yet alone worked as a nurse in California. So I called and got through to, isn't it shocking when you get through to people? So I got through to the California, Sacramento. And when they came on, it was a nice person actually. And you know what the lady explained that the California Franchise Tax Board did to me? They went through nursing licenses that weren't renewed and they assessed a tax on it, assuming that you are working under the table. And they were assessing what you would have made in California. And they are taxing you on phantom income. That's what they did to me. And they didn't do it one time. I've had them do that twice. I will not work as a nurse in California anymore because of the way that the Franchise Tax Board, they are thieves. Absolute thieves. And you know what? I'm going to tell you what I did. I was on that phone with the California Franchise Tax Board. I did everything short of cuss them out, okay? Yes. If you know a Libra, yeah, I'm talking astrology. If you know a Libra, you already know what it's hitting on when somebody is not being fair. It's not a good idea to do that to somebody who it just isn't good. So I went the hell off on that phone and I told them because you know what they did? They took money out of at the time I was banking at Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo got a lien from the tax board and they took it was like thousands of dollars they took out of my account. It was missing. My account was going cuckoo. Can you imagine that? It was going cuckoo. I was like, what just happened? Like, I got robbed. And then when I called Wells Fargo and they told me that the Franchise Tax Board of California had put a lien on my bank account and just zapped the money out. You know what I told them? I said, oh, I don't know about you, but it was like tick, tick, boom. I was like, let me tell you one thing. You're going to put that money back in my account, okay? You're going to do that, all right? It was that, I was on that type of energy. I was like, listen, you all better figure this one out and do it fast. And you know what? They did. I don't know what it was. It was the way I came across, whatever the authority I was speaking in. They returned that money the same day almost. Can you imagine that? Dealing with California, Sacramento, I was like, look, I was about to do things I can't even, it scares me sometimes, the things I have thought about, okay? If you know my father, okay, it's not a good idea, everybody. So, yeah, that's theft. And so how are we doing as a nation when it comes to the 8th commandment? You shouldn't steal. Okay. The 9th commandment, you shouldn't give false testimony against your neighbor. Wow. How are we doing with that one? Yep, there you go, Dave. Taxation is theft. So if we're being stolen from day in and day out, how can a nation prosper that steals, making people citizens. How do you all feel about the term citizenship? Do you think that that is a good thing to aspire to? Citizenship? Does anybody have an answer for the issue of citizenship? Are you proud of your citizenship? Let me know. I'd be curious to see answers to that. Okay, so the 10th commandment is you shouldn't covet your neighbors. So there's no keeping up with the Kardashians. You shouldn't want to keep up with the Kardashians. You notice that the Kardashians, that is their whole, that's the motivation. They want you to covet. They want people, they put them in a spell to covet, to want what they have. They appear to be a close-knit family, although if you hear it from other sources, they're not really close. They look that on TV. So people who have always dreamed of having sisters, like, I grew up for most of my life as an only child. My mom remarried. I got a couple brothers, but they're way, younger. So, and my dad didn't have any other children but me. So, you may want to have siblings, and you look at the Kardashians and you might think, wow, I wish I came from a big family like that. Well, that's coveting, in a sense, what they have or what they are portraying. And why? Because you don't know what cost it was to that person. But why covet things that they have, material? They bought a new car or new this, and that thing, you want it. And some people will want what another person has so much that they will do some very desperate things. It's pretty crazy. I can get into more of that, but there's some strange stuff going on when it comes to Kevin Samuels. That's all I'll say. The YouTuber Kevin Samuels, everything surrounding that issue and the players all around, it is really very devious stuff. And it comes from coveting another person and coveting what they have, their charisma, their, whatever, their looks, their whatever. That covetousness that will make a person do something very wicked and really think that they are going to get away with it, it's not the time anymore. If you had pulled that trick, if that person or those people had pulled their tricks before 2020, maybe they'd have a little more time to enjoy their ill-gotten gain. But right now, let me tell you, this is not the time to do things and think that there's no consequences. The consequences are real. Woo. They are really, wow. It's no joke out here. These people are about to find out. Now, we had these Georgia Guidestones, okay? Again, I want to cover a little bit more about the Georgia Guidestones. Now, this is a mystery, and it's so goofy. It was a goofy mystery, the name of the person being Christian, and it's on this plot of land. Like me as a Libra, I looked at those stones. I was like, those stones are so ugly. They're so janky and cheap and gaudy. They're out in the middle of this unkept piece of land. It's not green. It's just dusty. And I'm thinking, who the hell would do that? First of all, like, that's just stupid, whoever they are. I don't care if it's whoever they've speculated that they are. Whoever they are, they're dumb. And so the stones, I mean, they looked janky. I would have thought that if it was some big deal, it would have been like some kind of grounds, something that has some ambiance or something. If I want to visit, I like to see flowers or something. Is that too much to ask for? Make it swanky, not janky. But it was janky, and I don't like janky things, okay? So they were just stupid. So they're sitting out there as this menacing Stonehenge, a calendar of sorts. And, conspiracy people really knew about this. But isn't it weird that there's this menacing, mysterious Stonehenge in Georgia, and really only the conspiracy people care about it? You remember I called a church in the area. Remember that live stream? And the woman, she just, she was like, it's no big deal. It's just some stones. Okay. This is my point. We have allowed so much just cuckoo-ness in this nation that now we have arrived at clown world, hypersonic clown world. We have a leader who is literally, he should be in a nursing home. And I don't care if that sounds mean. I'm saying it as a nurse of many years. This dude, from my nursing assessment, if I had to make a nursing assessment, what would I do? Okay, let's do a nursing assessment for JoJo Magoo. Okay, I would say, do I remember nursing? Okay, his main problem, I'm going to make a soap note. Where are my nurses? So soap is the, what's soap again? Should I do a soap note? I'm going to do soap, okay? I would say altered mental. See, because nurses, we can't do diagnoses, but we can do we can state the problem. So I'll say altered mental status, okay? All right. So that's my S. You see it? So if I were looking at JoJo Magoo, I would say altered mental status. Okay, so the O is, okay, we call them soap notes. So I'm going to make a soap note on JoJo Magoo. So what's O? Can a nurse help me? Because we started going to, everything is standard now. I haven't done a soap note in a while. Okay, what's O? Come on, everybody, soap notes. I know P is, we're going to look at how, okay, so O, assessment. I know A is assessment. Okay, so I assessed him on several occasions, and I would say that he has slurred speech. Okay, slurred speech. What else would I assess? You can be a nurse just for today in the chatmosphere. What have you noticed to your assessment of JoJo Magoo, the leader of the United States of America right now? He is the leader of the free world, they say. Give me an assessment other than slurred speech. Oh, memory deficit. Okay, so I'll say memory deficit. Anybody got any? Subjective, objective. Thank you. Look at that. Dana is the unofficial nurse. Okay, thank you, Dana. Okay, so memory deficiency. And what else do you have? Fall risk. There you are. That we have nurses in there. I can't do dementia, Mish. I can't say dementia because dementia falls into a medical diagnosis. Nurses, we have to do it more. It's more of I don't know. What? Help me, you guys. I've been away from nursing for 3 years now. Okay, so aggressiveness. Yes, I can use that, Mish. Thank you. Okay, that is what I can use. Okay, so I'm going to say aggressiveness because he's pretty aggressive. Yes, he used to be real aggressive when he was younger too. Woo, he was real aggressive, but he's very aggressive. Remember, he threatened the guy. He challenged him to a arm wrestle, and he called him a pony face something. So aggressive. Oh, low motor skills. I like that. I'll say, how can I put altered motor skills? I'll say altered motor skills. That's true. And I'll say also, I'll say incontinence. Does anybody know what incontinence means? So I'm going to say incontinence. What else? Anybody? Any of our Chatmosphere nurses? Anybody else have anything? Altered mental status. That's I got that as my S. Okay, so this is what I have so far for the SOAP note. Altered mental status. I need O. Let's see, what did Dana say O was again? Okay, observations. Yeah, these are all the observations. Fall risk. Oh yeah, he's a fall risk. What fall risk? I say he's a red fall. No, I wouldn't give him a red. He's just goofy, and he has objective assessment and the plan. Oh, thank you. Objective. What would we say for objective? Because subjective is altered mental status. So objective is I'll say his performance. That's going to be my O. His performance as president. Okay, I'm laughing, yeah, because I can't believe I'm doing this. What made me do this? What's our plan for this patient? Okay, I've got everything I'm showing you how to do a nursing note if you were to write it out, okay? It would be a lot longer. I'm just doing this quickly. Okay, what are we doing? What's our plan? Yeah, falling up steps, Britt. Falling up steps 3 times. We have so many receipts. Obsession with sniffing hair. How could we say that in a nursing diagnosis way? Inappropriate. Could I say inappropriate touch? Inappropriate behaviors. How could I say it? Inappropriate boundaries. I think that's a good one. Is that a good one? Inappropriate boundaries. Yeah. Okay. That will cover. See, that's a nursey way to say obsession with sniffing hair and kids physically unbalanced. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'll say, because I didn't cover his gait. I said altered motor skills. I don't think I didn't write that correct. But I'll say his gait is unsteady gait. Unsteady gait. That means walking and tripping up the steps 3 times. Gait as in GAIT. Okay, let's see. What is the plan? Forgetfulness, delusional, creepy tendencies. I don't know how. Okay, I covered that, Lisa. Inappropriate boundaries. So if you wanted to give a, nursey diagnosis, that's what you would say for creepy tendencies. Let's see. Hey, Shayna's here. Make him look super weak while Space Force is super strong. It's the ultimate chess move. There you are. OCD. I can't give that one, Alan, although we could agree on it. It's more of a medical diagnosis. Hey there, 8326 Carol, lack of concentration. That I'll keep that that'll work in as altered mental status. Okay, so we're diagnosing the President of the United States of America. Okay, here's our plan. Thank you. Here we are. Thank you, Mickey. You all helped me with this plan. We did a nursing plan together. Heidi, nursing home. I agree. Okay. All righty. I may make a meme of our nursing. Okay. So I graduated from Temple University in Philadelphia with a baccalaureate in nursing. Those are my credentials. Okay. So this is my nursing plan. I did a soap note. I didn't write a long one, but just one just to give you an idea how nurses talk among each other and how we used to document, but everything is now, it's like it's made for dum-dums. You hit a button and it has standard answers. I was one of the nurses that had to write these plans out at one time. Okay. So I got rusty with it, with all this technology. Okay. But nursing home is our plan. Okay, let's go over our nursing plan for the President of the United States of the America. Okay, yeah, falling off a bike. That was recent. We have too many incidents. Like, I could fill a book up. If I wanted to do a long nursing plan, it would, listen, baby cakers. I would do this real good. I might even do one. I'm Temple University. The guru knows. Yep, we are Temple Owls. Yeah, don't go Owls. That's right. Go Owls. I'm not into them. Okay, I don't care about Temple University anymore. I used to, but okay. So altered mental status is the S. O, his performance as president. That's our observation. And I could expand it, of course. A is slurred speech, memory deficiency, aggressive behavior, altered motor skills, incontinence. Does anybody know what incontinence means? Put it in the chatmosphere. Inappropriate boundaries. I don't know. That's kind of a goofy one that I put there, but unsteady gait. And our plan is nursing home. The people have spoken. I won't repeat it, but that's incontinence. Okay, everybody. So I think we have a consensus here. Do we? So there we are. All right, we got a plan going. So here we are, back to this meme of the guide stones. So we had these guide stones up since the 1980s, and nobody really, I don't know, whatever we think, they're down, and we're glad. Okay, we're glad. But imagine if they put the 10 Commandments there and had a nice place to come and visit. I don't know. I'm just saying, we live in a really cuckoo place that, we could have these weird guide stones, but I'm glad they're gone. Dynamite. And so I look at things like a nation that takes God out of their society in such a rebellious way. Prayer was taken out of school, and all kinds of things you can't do in school. It was at a point where you couldn't even wear a cross at work. Remember those days where if you wore a cross, you were going to offend somebody, and we were walking on eggshells. Well, we now see, coming through the government education system, that we were programmed from the start. We were programmed with lies after lies after lies. As you look at this educational picture here with the students with the globe. So if people reject biblical truth and they treat it as everything is mythology. So if you don't have a proper understanding of cosmology, which is in the Bible, it speaks of the cosmology, and it doesn't support what NASA and the school system has taught us. Okay? So if we don't have a proper understanding of cosmology, we are so off balance, and anything can be pulled on us if we don't understand the world that the Creator made. And he has given us so much when it comes to information. And there's so much information now to debunk that if you look at government sources, and I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to pull these sources, when they are teaching aviation in the military and other sectors, in the government documents, it says based on a flat earth model. That's what aviation information will state in government documents. If you don't believe me, look into it. If you have pilot friends and if they tell the truth about the curvature of the earth and how absolutely ridiculous it is to believe that when you are traveling overseas and long trips, listen, I knew I was being gaslit. I just knew it. I told you this already. I am not able to sleep on long international flights for some reason. And I now figured it out. I think it's because I knew I was being gaslit. When I'm looking at the monitor and they're showing me where we are, where the plane is, and you see the plane, it's like, oh, so we're just going to go over. What? So you're being gaslit. And now it makes sense. I'm so glad that I don't feel alone in this, because I would talk to my family. They're all with their pillows, they're drooling and sleeping. And I'm like the crazy one. I'm up on the plane. I want to go to sleep, but I don't know. I just can't. But this issue of the way we were programmed, indoctrinated, the public school system, we can make petitions to the Creator. And I would encourage some of us, if you feel this in your spirit, because I'm going to start writing petitions to the highest court. I'm going to start doing it. And I'm going to petition the Creator to cleanse my land. I'm going to petition him to cleanse my land. And I want to warn these people who want to continue to destroy life in the womb. They want to just be so rebellious, and they want to keep trying to get the Supreme Court to see it their way. To use the 13th Amendment to do it, I can't imagine. Has anybody heard what their angle is to try to bring abortion back like Roe v. Wade through the 13th Amendment? But I'm going to just say this. I'm going to petition the Creator to cleanse my land. My land will not continue to be desecrated and polluted with the blood of babies. It will not. Okay? That will not continue. And it will not continue without any consequences. The consequences are going to be real clear. They're going to begin to be very clear. If this is continued and pushed, we're not in a position right now to continue pushing the Creator. When he says enough, enough. And I'm going to petition him to turn up the heat, do some steam cleaning, some vapor cleaning of my land. So this is the supreme law. And I'm going to petition my Creator to look into the case of Dr. Timothy Jarrell Cunningham and bring justice and expose what happened to this American hero. Because it's tied to all of us. Because it's tied to the CDC and what they have been doing to all of us. So I want justice for Dr. Timothy Jarrell Cunningham. So I'm going to start writing these petitions. What else do I want to share with you? I was listening to music today, and I have an idea. It was actually something Karen had inspired. I want to thank you, sis. Karen is just a good sister, right? We all, like, I consider Karen and, you know, a lot of you, like, we're all in this marathon, and I see you all. You're in my section of the marathon, and I look over at you and I feel you. I know you're right over there, and I love you for being there. So as we're in this marathon, yeah, I'm going to bring it back up. Big Pontiac is in the house, in the chatmosphere. Hello, greetings, power people. I love your greeting, Big Pontiac. Thanks for joining us. So I was listening to music, and I am going to be doing something more with music, because there is something that I am connecting with. And it is prior to the music becoming so destructive. You could call it nostalgia or circling back, not to keep us tied to this whatever matrix and things like that, but as we are moving through it, I want to redeem some of the things, and I have an idea of something I want to do. I will share more with you, because I was listening to music. Remember, I told you that I don't listen to music anymore. And today, let me tell you some of the music. I would play it, but of course, I'm going to get a copyright strike. But I want to tell you on this particular playlist that I hadn't listened to in a long time, but it's called High Frequency Soul Funk. Okay, so I have stuff by Confunction, if you know, like, soul music, the Ohio Players, and Brick, Cool in the Gang, Heat Wave, Denise Williams, some Erykah Badu, Sky, The Roots, who are from Philadelphia, Jill Scott, Chicago. All right, Saturday in the Park. You know that Saturday in the Park. I thought it was the 4th of July. Right? That is some, I'm telling you, that makes me travel back to when I have two aunts that are, you know, they were like teenagers when I was a little girl, and we would go to Fairmount Park, and it would just be festivals. And, you know, this is back in the 70s. So everybody had their beautiful afros and bell bottoms, and everybody, it didn't matter race, or everybody was together, and it was a vibe. And I remember that vibe. Do you remember that vibe? But yes, Chicago, right? That music, I have been so shut down to listening to it. But today I listen to music all day. I just played a playlist, and not the music that I do that's, you know, what is it? It's the music that I subscribe to that's safe for YouTube. But I didn't listen to that, which I have been enjoying because I had been so shut down. But I got an epiphany about redeeming something. So I'm going to share something exciting that I want to do and share with you all. But some of the other names that I was listening to, Rufus and Shaka Khan, the Blackbirds, you know that, walking in rhythm, moving in sound. Remember that? That music is, that song right there is unbelievable. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Player, you know, Baby Come Back, you know that, and the Eagles, I Can't Tell You Why. Let me tell you, the Eagles, I Can't Tell You Why. When someone says that is their jam, that is my jam. Okay, don't get me to start singing it and making the Eagles strike my channel. But I love I Can't Tell You Why. Oh my goodness. Philadelphia Freedom, Elton John. You know, I listen to Benny and the Jets too, everybody. I listen to Benny and the Jets, and I know that it's probably bad, you know, Benny and the Jets, it talks about. But when I was little, my cousins would tease me. They would say, like, if the song was on and we were in the car, because we were always going to my grandmother's house in West Philly, we lived in Mount Airy, and you know, Benny and the Jets would come on, and they would tease me. They would say, Jenny and the Jets. And I would get mad. You know how you're a kid, and I was like an only kid, probably spoiled, right? And they would do the Jenny and the Jets, and I felt like they were trolling me, so I hated it when they did that. But I like that song, though. I'm sorry. I had a little moment with Elton John, so I listened to Benny and the Jets, and oh, Boz Scaggs, remember Low Down? You dirty low down. And then Sly and the Family Stone, right? Phil Collins. Oh my goodness. So many amazing songs I was listening to today. But I want to bring up that I want to also petition the Creator that in our nation, we have a music trust. Does anybody know about the music trust? This would be the trust that all of the music published works is a part of a trust called a music trust. And all of the artists that have come through that have put their soul literally into the music industry, to only have a very wicked group of people rob them of their identity. Remember, Prince didn't even own his name. He had to outmaneuver Warner Brothers Music. You had Michael Jackson, who outmaneuvered Sony by going to Japan and buying just about the entire company. Michael Jackson, at one point, I believe he owned Sony, right? Check me if I'm wrong. And one of the things that Michael Jackson did is that he gave back the publishing to so many artists, that you have artists that are living in a van, okay? Big groups from decades ago. They are penniless, while there is another group of people who are literally enjoying the high life off of their creative work. They have stolen it, and they have enriched themselves. And I am angry about that. I don't like injustice like that. But one of the things that Michael Jackson did is he gave back. I think Little Richard was one of the people that he gave his publishing back to. And he also gave back, I believe it was Sly, from Sly and the Family Stone. I think that Michael Jackson gave him back his publishing. I could be wrong, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know that publishing and royalties and things like that, it's been nothing but theft, and it's a slave contract. So I'm going to petition the Father that he will clean up and he will remove the people that are stealing from our music trust, that are stealing people's inheritances. And I want the music trust returned in the name of Jesus Christ. And I want the people to be compensated. I want them to get back their names, everything that involves the gifts that they were given. You look at what happened to Britney Spears, and the wickedness around the contracts and the conservatorships that they play games out in California. I didn't want to be a part of those games. Remember, I told you I didn't want to put people on 5150 holds. I didn't want that authority. I didn't want that. Nope. So these are things that are being exposed. Britney Spears has been in a slave condition. And some people only think about slavery that happened, in the 1800s and whatever. Only think about slavery that happened a long time ago. When you have slavery under your nose occurring, slavery happens on different levels. The 14th Amendment that we talked about yesterday, that enslaves some people. Did anybody put in the citizenship issue? Because we have to get our status corrected, and we need to learn what is the proper status of everyone. What is your nation? What do you claim? What is your standing? Are you on the sea? Are you maritime? Are you common law? Are you on the land? Are you corrected? Are you going by the supreme law? So we may think that, they're flooding the borders with all these immigrants and they're taking advantage. They are putting these people in slavery situations. It's a trick bag. They make the other countries unstable. That right there is also an issue of justice, because when they go in and destroy nations and call and create, refugee crises and immigration crises, this is their doing, and God has been taking an account. He knows every soul that comes over the border. He has an accounting of every one of those souls. And there's going to be justice. There is justice now. It's happening. Nobody is going to get away with this. No one. So I look at this picture here and I think back to when I was in school. I had home economics. This was so cute when I looked at this. Did anybody take home economics in school? I enjoyed home economics. I had some really strict teachers, and we would get on the bus from my school and we would ride from C.W. Henry School in Mount Airy, and we would go to Mifflin, which was in East Falls, okay, near Manayunk. So my home economics teachers, you all had home economics? Yes, you too. Yay, you too. Rosie, you had home. Did you like it? Tina? Yes. Now in my home economics, I had a strict teacher, and she taught us. I had a sewing segment, so I learned how to make drawstring pants and a wraparound corduroy skirt, and I even learned how to make a sweatshirt. Can you imagine? I made a sweatshirt, and what else did I do? Oh, I think I made corduroy pants. Everything was corduroy back then. So I made, I got the butterick pattern, and women in my family were seamstresses, so they all my mother wasn't a seamstress, but my grandmother and my aunts all sewed. So it was just a normal thing. I could borrow patterns, or they helped me cut out patterns. But then when I had the cooking segment, I learned how to make scones and biscuits, and that's when I learned how to make apple crisp. Does anybody like apple crisp? But I learned how to do it in home economics, and the boys would tend to go to the shop classes, and they would learn mechanics and woodworking and metal working. And at that time, when I was in school, it did seem to be a gender-based thing. It wasn't a big deal, but the girls would go towards the home economics. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a wonderful thing. Women, when we come into a balance and we can rest in our femininity, which is used in those spheres, but there is a lot of validity to it. If women can rest in femininity, women create the beauty and the sanctuary for their family, for their man, right? If she's not a nag, right? She's not nagging. But women, we have that gifting. And you know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with having a home and being a homesteader. You know, your husband, he's still in the workforce right now. Wow, that'd be great to have a balance. You know, somebody at home making that a sanctuary and a haven, right? You're keeping a little apothecary out in the backyard, so maybe your husband might be one of you 420 people, right? But you're growing your own 420. So your husband comes home, you give him a little 420, take his mind off of the craziness in the workplace. I don't know. I'm not judging you. You may be that kind of couple. And, you know, you're growing your own stuff. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with having an apothecary where you have your own medicine out there? Doesn't that sound nice? Yes, right? 420, you would appreciate that. A wife that's keeping a garden, a outdoor apothecary. You grow. This is an amazing grower right here. Amazing. I love the pictures and everything that you share. It's amazing. So you have your apothecary. Do you have other medicinals that you're growing? Sean says it's a great thing. There you go. So these are just things that we may want to look into growing hemp, because hemp was a very important crop to our nation. Hemp has many uses. I did a live stream, you know, on my old channel about all the things that you can do with hemp. Hemp also cleans the soil. So we've had overworked soil, and hemp is the answer for a lot of problems. Now, I think I'm going to do another petition. It just came to me. I'm going to also write a petition up about the land trust. And I'm going to ask the Father to remove Bill Gates and anyone who is taking advantage of the land trust. So I'm going to make a petition to the Creator to remove Bill Gates and whatever he's doing with the land trust. It is illegal. If you're watching Billy Boy, you are violating supreme law, and my Father is going to take care of it. Okay, this is my land. You didn't expect us to wake up, did you? It's over. Yep. Okay, so what else did I have to say? Yeah. So yeah, let's get into the kitchen. Let's get into making some apothecary gardens. Let's get into resting in our femininity. Rise and threshold, daughters. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. That I'm going to be doing some petitions. Yeah, I'm real serious about it. And I'm going to, again, ask my Father to clean the land and to remove those that pollute my land with the blood of babies. I'm going to petition that stops. No sanctuary for it. None. And yeah, I'm going to petition him for the music trust, that the thieves that have stolen from the Music Trust of America, that they are exposed, they are removed, and all of their evil deeds will be punished, and all the money will be given back to the artist and put back in the Music Trust. Yes, in Jesus' name, right? And what was my other petition? Oh, for justice for Dr. Timothy Jarrell Cunningham, which is tied to the CDC, which will implicate Dr. Fauci and what he has done with HIV/AIDS and everything. Oh yeah, those are going to be the petitions. So yeah, that's it for now. Let's see if I missed you. Hey Mish, loved hash and Thai sticks. Uh-oh, you guys are, I know this chatmosphere is going to make the Christians go ree. But you know, I want to say this about people who would judge anybody who has medicinals like that. The church has lost their authority to judge anybody. Have you noticed that? The church has lost so much authority, they can't even stand in judgment of you if you do partake in 420. I would rather hang out with people who are into 420 than the church people, because a lot of people that you would think, of course, if Jesus were, obviously walking among us, you know what I'm saying, where he's like all out and he's outside, y'all, he wouldn't be hanging in churches. He would be hanging with people who they look down on, right? So the church has lost its authority to judge a lot of things. They've missed the mark in America. I'm speaking for the churches of America, the 501(c)(3) churches, mega churches, and all of that. They've lost their authority. They've allowed Roe v. Wade to be in effect for how many years? Almost 50 years of bloodshed. The church has not been effective, not the evangelical church. This is where I have to give credit to the Catholic Church. And I have my misgivings about the Catholic Church leadership. But the Catholic Church were the ones on the front line of the abortion issue. So that's what I want to say. And I know it because I was out there and I saw them with my own eyes. So the church has lost authority to judge people who partake in 420. Of all things, like to make a big deal out of that, give me a break. You got bigger fish to fry. If you close your church down in 2020 and you encourage your people to wear masks and to take jabs, you're in trouble, is all I have to say. You don't have time to judge anybody who's smoking a little marijuana. That's the least of your problems. Okay, I don't want to go on another rant. I didn't plan for it, but oh my God, John Dowling. Hey, John. God is judging the church for sure. Yes, he is. This pre-trib nonsense needs to go. Yeah, the whole tribulation thing, I fell for all that stuff. Rapture. They had me worshiping Israel, only looking at them as the chosen people. And the church had me so upside down. I am really, it's going to take a while to undo the lies and the programming and the gaslighting that I received from being a church lady. I was like such a little church lady. So you said religion has gotten in the way of what Yeshua wants the most, relationship. Thank you for that, John. It's so nice to see you. Hey, Roger that. Hey there. Thank you, Karen, our beautiful Harlem Sentinel. Blessings to all the professors. Thank you. That's right. Oh, my silver spoon. And I have I'm going to seal it with the silver spoon, everything I said, in amen, if you agree. But I'm going to make my petitions. And yes, so I appreciate you coming by. Tina, you could have been the church lady from SNL. That's when SNL used to be funny. I used to love the church lady. That was so hilarious. Yes. Hey, Grace, K Grace. Religions was all made up by, yes. And that's the thing, like, I love your name and the concept of grace. And that's what a lot of my church experience is. They really spoke down on the law, and they didn't like people for being legalistic. Oh, don't talk to me about the law. I want to just hear about grace. You know what? We have in this nation, and especially the Christian church in America, has trampled grace. There's no more grace for a nation that lets the soil get so polluted with bloodshed. What are you talking about, grace? You got JoJo Magoo in the White House. Is that evidence of grace? And his son? Let's not be delusional. That is called judgment. And I don't care what anybody wants to say. That's judgment for a nation that doesn't abide by law, by the supreme law. So it's time for us to turn to law and order. It is time. We have trampled grace. No more. We need to get serious with bringing moral codes to our society, cleaning up the culture, and speaking. Stop being so quiet. If you see somebody going the wrong way, try to meet them where they are. We don't have to just go out, yay, stop doing that. Get off my lawn. No, it's a way to do it. But we can't be silent. When our young girls were thinking that hoes were winning, we let a culture happen where young women are now being told hoes win. How destructive. But you know what? God will not be mocked. All those people that they were out there telling you that it was a hot girl summer, hoes were winning, where are they? Go look at all the women that were pushing this forth. You have Amber Rose, another Philadelphia Jawn. Isn't that interesting? Amber Rose, if you know who she is, she was one of Kanye's earlier women, and she had something called the slut walk. They were parading their Jezebel harlotry, whoredom, celebrating it. Our nation has become a place where deviancy is put on parade. It is celebrated. Whereas before, people at least had a moral code. Even if they were doing that stuff, they hid it. They didn't parade it out in the open. So it's time for us to get on a law and order code. We have to get back to some codes. And if we start to develop these codes, when we speak, we will speak with authority. And the people that need to hear it will respond, knowing that they are hearing an authoritative voice, telling them, no, hoes are not winning. You might want to look into that and choose a different path. Open your mouth. Stop letting the satanic Luciferians like run all over us. a lot of us are waking up and we don't care anymore about their trolling, anything. We've been attacked, some of us online, for years now. We have grown very fortified because we have been taking some of these arrows. But we need more voices. We need more people that are advocating on the state level to clean up. If you want to start petitioning the Creator, like I am, I'm going to write these petitions out. It's time for law and order. Playtime is over. Grace, all that grace is over. We're going to have it, yes, but it's time to get to some work. It's time. So that wasn't too much of a rant, was it? I will be working on some more things. I want to bring more to the discussion of these. I want to do the Magna Carta, looking into that again. I only touched on it a little bit. I want to get an 1828 Bible also, and an 1828 Webster's Dictionary. So I want to start getting some of these books I should have had. I may have the dictionary. I lost some of my books. I just have to really look for it, but I'll continue to look into these issues and bring them, and we can discuss. I appreciate this time with, that you're spending with me on a Sunday evening now, and it's been fun. I'm trying to think of anything else that I wanted to share. Hey, Bernadette. Hey there, let's see. I say, Satan, get behind me, to myself when the trolls go off on me, and it quiets. Command it, and it shall be done in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you for sharing that. Exactly. We have a lot of power and authority. And if you use the name, it makes them go ree. So it's something to it, right? You see it with the way they act. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and repent and change their ways, I will hear their prayers and restore their land. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, good brother. Very nice. Amen to that. It's time for our professor to go on a field trip. Yes, I'm feeling a field trip. I have some ideas I'm going to put into motion, and I'm praying that a lot of good things are happening. I'm telling you, I'm really excited about it, and I know that God has put me on this path, and He will provide. And He is my Father who has cattle on 1,000 hills. Yes, and I am in His will. I am in His will. So I appreciate that. But a field trip is long overdue, and now, the field trips that I'm thinking are local. They are simple. They don't require a passport, but I want to put some things together. I love Georgia, and the surrounding areas, like, you got Alabama, you have Florida, South Carolina. I love Savannah, of course, and I have ties to Savannah. And what else? So those are the areas, like, it's so many islands, and Cumberland Island, things like that. But I want to do a really special field trip, and I want to start getting out and doing more traveling. So pray for me to have all that I need, to do some of these things. And I want to thank you all for helping me and blessing me. You all have just been so sweet. And again, for the ones that ask, if you want to, send me an apple or a tip, that's where you do it. And I want to thank all the ones that do. Oh my gosh, thank you, Kay. I appreciate that super sticker. Thank you, thank you. I want to be smarter. I want to learn how to do these things where I can make it, I know God he will have it flourish, but it's a lot of things I see and my plans, and I'm excited. But I have this one that I'm working on, and it was something that Karen had said to me, but it was an idea that I'm gonna put it into place a lot sooner. And I'll keep up with you on the kombucha SCOBY that's due soon, and then we can do and some other things that want to be outside, and we can cover heavy topics, but also we can lighten the mood, whatever the heaviness that a lot of people are feeling at this time. I want to help with having us have fun, right? A little bit of fun mixed in. Thank you, Heidi, for the super sticker. I appreciate that. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. So I'll be back with you soon. I love you all. Take care and meep meep. I haven't said meep meep in a while. All right, so take good care.